Good evening, everybody. My name is Jaden Jones, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the history of Henry Ford. Have y'all ever been sent somewhere driving in your car and you come to a pause, whether it's a stop sign, a stoplight, or a traffic caught up, and then you happen to look over and you see somebody driving a Ford vehicle, and then you wonder to yourself, how were the Ford vehicles even created? And then you think about it. Ford has been around for many decades. They have made many different shapes, sizes, make, and models of their vehicles. So who was the main mastermind behind that? And the main mastermind behind the whole Ford vehicles was Mr. Henry Ford himself. Mr. Henry Ford was a genius, and he made our lives as today very simple. He made our lives very simple because he was a genius at what he do, and that was making cars. He made our lives simple for the industries, the production, and our everyday lives. First off, the two ways he made the industry different was because of the assembly line and the $5 a day salary. The assembly line was a way to reduce the time from 12 hours to an hour and 33 minutes to make a car. Henry Ford came up with that idea when he used 13,000 workers in the line, and they all worked together as a team, and that would lower the cars. And then with the $5 a day salary that he paid them, it made them not only be able to buy their car, but also made them have enough time to ride in their car, because eventually after that when they came out with the 5-day week. And with the 5-day week, it allowed people who worked in businesses to only work 5 days out of their week. And then after that became the production. See, with the assembly line, for example, Henry Ford was able to use the 13,000 workers to make, instead of 100 cars a month, to 1,000 cars a week. And with that, it made people angry, and because people in other industries was losing to Henry Ford. So they tried everything to stop him, but they couldn't. Because with Henry Ford assembly line, and he made so many cars, he was able to sell it to many different people at a lower price. So at that lower price, many people was driving around in his cars, which also led to the extinction of horse carriages. Because why would you want to ride around in horse carriages when you could just ride around in the Model T, the first ever car that Henry Ford made and he used in his assembly line? So with that being said, he used the Model T as his way to improve the car industry, which now led to transportation. Transportation was the way that everybody get around. How you think you get around in the world today? Because of your cars, right? How you think you go to school today? Because of school buses, right? What if there was no cars? What if it was no buses? What if it was no schools? How would y'all get around anywhere? Y'all would be either on foot, or y'all would have to ride horses. And with those horses, let's say if you try to go to a place like Albany, Georgia, or North Carolina, or America, Georgia, instead of that little 30, 45 minutes to an hour drive, you would have to go maybe a day, 2 days, just to get there if you ride on a horse. And that is something don't happen to your horse along the way. So just think about it. Henry Ford really changed our lives and made it easier for everybody today. Because without Henry Ford assembly line, it wouldn't have led other car industries to start using the same thing and make even better cars. Yeah, I know Henry Ford was not the first person to make the car, but who's to say that those other people wouldn't quit? Who's to say that other people would get so aggravated trying to make a car, trying to make the car perfect, that they just stopped and gave up? Without Henry Ford, how would you think that you would be getting around? How would you think if, like, you got supplies, right? If you need supplies, how you think your supplies gonna get to you? It was nothing. It was nothing. So back then, when Henry Ford made that assembly line, it changed the whole car industry and all. It changed our everyday lives. It changed the production of everything. Because now everything can move so smoothly, and a whole lot of people can get involved and make more money to provide for their families, and also ride around in luxurious cars. So just look back and you could just realize that the genius Henry Ford himself was able to change our everyday lives, change the outlook of the car industries and the production in the world. Thank y'all for y'all time. My name is Jaden Jones, and this concludes